Hello everyone, welcome to High Holiday Happenings, 3rd edition. In the Torah, Jewish holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, Passover, were observed as one-day festivals. Some holidays, like Passover, included a special festival at the beginning and also at the end on the 7th day. The interim days of Passover, as well as the interim days of Sukkot, were also holidays, but not as important as the first day, and in Passover's case, the 7th day. So from where did this 2-day festival originate? Well, back in rabbinic times, there were no printed calendars. The beginning of each month was determined by the new moon, by Rosh Chodesh, as we say in Hebrew. And although the new moon was calculated to fall during a 2-day window, it was not always clear which of these 2 days was actually Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the new month. Therefore, witnesses were appointed to inspect the sky and to report back to authorities in Jerusalem to announce that the new month had arrived. A message then went out to announce the new month, and within Israel everyone received that message fairly quickly, and the people therefore were able to plan their calendar accordingly. They knew exactly when Passover would fall, they knew exactly when Sukkot would fall. However, people outside of Israel did not always receive that message about the new month in time. And so therefore, just to be sure, and knowing that there was generally a 2-day window considering the new moon, they created 2 days for the new moon. And therefore, they created 2 days of a holiday. So when they planned the calendar, they weren't sure if Passover would be on Tuesday or Wednesday, so therefore they made both days the holiday of Passover. And that is why in Israel, the holidays are observed for 1 day, because that message got out to everyone. But in the diaspora, we still follow the tradition of 2 days, because back then, Jews in the diaspora wanted to be sure that they were celebrating the holiday at the proper time, not knowing whether it was day 1 or day 2, they observed both. Well, in recent times, conservative Judaism approved our following the calendar of the land of Israel, which would enable us to observe 1 day of the holiday rather than following the diaspora tradition of 2 days. Acknowledging that we observe for 1 day was a way not only to align ourselves with the land of Israel, but also to recognize that 2 days provided a hardship for the people, especially on Passover, when now not only would you have 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end, but you would have 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end. However, Rosh Hashanah was different. Even in Israel, Rosh Hashanah was always observed as 2 days, what is referred to in Hebrew or Aramaic as Yoma Arichta, 1 long day. Perhaps the reason is that Rosh Hashanah falls at the beginning of the month of Tishrei. It falls at the time of the new moon. And when those witnesses would come to Jerusalem and announce that the new moon had arrived, they would often come late in the day. And perhaps the leaders in Jerusalem were just not sure, well, when they're coming, is it going to be today or is it going to be tomorrow? So since Rosh Hashanah fell on the new moon itself, just to be sure that they did everything properly, they made Rosh Hashanah 2 days. So today, that tradition is still followed, Rosh Hashanah being 2 days, reflecting the idea that the new moon had to be interpreted, had to be announced, and they weren't quite sure, so therefore they made 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. But for every other day, Israel follows the 1-day holiday calendar. I think perhaps in thinking or reflecting upon our 2-day Rosh Hashanah everywhere, we could argue that taking stock of our lives is too difficult for one day, even too difficult for 2 days. So we need that time to really reflect, and I don't think it's too much to ask. However, you can make a distinction between both days, perhaps different kinds of food, perhaps even in praying, if you're doing this on your own, or if you have a prayer book, Machzor, you may decide that you want to include certain hymns on one day and certain hymns on the other. In fact, even in our High Holiday prayer book, there are indications of certain prayers that we say on the first day and certain prayers we say on the second day as a way of distinguishing between the two. But Rosh Hashanah is Yoma Arichta, it's one long day, observed as 2 days everywhere. Shana Tova in advance. Have a good year.